4 months ago, I did a talk here and met Elodie, who's sitting with me now. And she was here with her mother and her 2 sisters. And as a family, they sat behind afterwards and told me what their health problems were. And it was just the most amazing stuff. I mean, Elodie says now that, and even then, I remember you saying that you felt that God had actually sent them here as a family. And it was just such an amazing time. I remember us sitting here just all crying our eyes out because we'd really felt that it was a divine meeting that we'd had. And I went off and I remember praying and asking God to really touch their lives and turn their lives around. And I just was so incredibly blessed this morning when I got here, and Patricia said there are a couple of testimonies people want to tell how the natural way has helped them, and who should stand up but Elodie stands up and tells her story. So I would like you to hear her story this morning, how being on the natural way for just 4 months has changed her life and how she and her husband have benefited from it. So I'm going to clip the mic on her and just let her roll. So you can just tell me from the beginning, what happened when you got home?
Well, after we had attended the talk, and as I said, pretty much try to be health conscious most of our lives. My parents always raised us, bake, grill, steam, cut off the excess fat, all those kinds of things. And so I'd always been in that mode of trying to always do the best that I could. But the things that you spoke about from your books and that just kind of fell into place, and were just making so much sense that after what I'd been experiencing beforehand, I just felt that I needed to go and try these things out. And as I said, wasn't ever terribly unhealthy, never many doctor visits, that kind of thing. Just 2 main underlying issues for me were, I guess, my sinuses and migraines. And then, as we spoke about, some hormonal issues where the doctor had diagnosed me with polycystic ovarian syndrome and a very irregular cycle. And just going home, and I took my little tub of green juice and said to my husband, you know, we need to try this. And he was very skeptical, but decided to accommodate me. And so immediately the next day we started with our fruit shake in the morning and separating starches and proteins and starting every meal with raw veggies. We just did everything. It was kind of for me an all or nothing approach. I needed to see if this would work. And literally within a few days we started seeing in both of us changes. Started sleeping through the night, whereas before we'd always wake up. For the first time in my life, after about the first 2 weeks, I could actually sleep with my mouth closed and breathe through my nose. Completely cut out dairy, completely cut out all sorts of gluten, and just amazing energy that just came from nowhere. Always would gym regularly, but as I mentioned, would come home from gym and just want to collapse. I'd be, need a nap after gym, a nap in the afternoon, and just suddenly just had more energy than I knew what to do with. And my husband felt the same, and he's pretty healthy in himself. And he just said to me that through his stressful job, he just doesn't know that he would have coped as well as he has in the last 4 months with the way that we've been eating and taking the barley life and those kinds of things. Other things I've just noticed, you talk about your cellulite. I also noticed that's been diminishing, which is really exciting. I've lost 8 kilos with next to no effort. I mean, I really don't feel deprived. I don't feel like I'm starving.
You don't feel like you're on diet?
Not at all. Lost all food angst. Grew up with quite a few food issues because I've always struggled with my weight. But I'm just so free now. It's just, and I know that's a gift from God as well. Just totally actually free to live my life and focus on the important things. And my skin has been clearing up, which I'm very excited about. Just struggled with some irritating little spots here and there that just never seemed to go away. Always had a few spots somewhere, and that's definitely clearing up. So I'm excited about that.
And the other thing I know you mentioned was your menstrual cycle has improved?
Yes, I used to have a cycle maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and in the last 4 months I've had 2 periods. So very excited about that, to get that sorted out, and just really feeling good. Just I explained it to my husband the one day we were driving in the car, and I was just so stunned actually about how good I actually felt. And I said to him, it feels like all the nerve endings in my whole body are just alive, and they're just tingling, and your senses are so heightened, and it's really been an amazing feeling. And for him as well, going from being a typical South African man who eats a lot of red meat to losing his taste for red meat, losing his craving for chocolates or sweets. Exactly, it was never an effort or an aim. And just by feeding your body the right things and focusing on good nutrition, you just lose those cravings and desires, and you actually want to feed your body the good things.
Elodie, your mum and your sisters were with you as well. Have their lives changed in any way whatsoever? Just tell us.
Definitely. My mom's biggest changes have been that she was diagnosed a couple of years ago with type 2 diabetes. And she's also her whole life struggled with her blood pressure, with very high blood pressure. And a couple of weeks ago, before she went on holiday, she thought she'd better just go and have her health checked out before she went on the aeroplane. And the doctor was amazed because she had completely normal blood pressure readings and there was no sign of the diabetes at all. So she's really doing well on that. And one of my sisters, I'm quite jealous, she's lost so much weight, she's actually dropped 2 pant sizes in 4 months. So everyone's doing very well and just very encouraged. It's great to have a support system like that within the family where we phone each other and, have you tried this recipe, have you done that one, and get meal ideas from each other and just support each other.
I think the most inspiring thing about you is that you really just realized, for you feel that this was a place that God had brought you to, and that you took the information and you ran with it. I haven't had an email from you asking me questions. I haven't had a phone call from you. And people always think that they can't do it on their own. You just heard it and you just went out there and you did it, and it's working. There's nothing magic about it. There's nothing miraculous about the food. What is miraculous is that God has designed our bodies in such a way that when we treat them the way He designed them to be treated from an exercise and food point of view, they just respond so amazingly. And I think that is the most exciting thing for me, is that Elodie and her family, her husband, her mom, her sister have just gone out there and benefited at all different levels. People always say to me, can I go on the natural way if I'm pregnant? Can I go on the natural way if I've got high blood pressure? In my opinion, everybody should be on the natural way, because that's how our bodies were designed. And it doesn't matter what your health problem is. It will take time, but it'll finally correct. And I think what we need to do is, in the next 6 months or so, is get hold of you again and sit down and interview you. So now I would like you to email me your story so we can send it out on the email newsletter as well, because not everybody gets the DVD and digital magazine, and your story is so inspiring, and your mum's story and your sister's story, it would just be so wonderful, and your husband, and just email me and let us inspire people out there, and I look forward to interviewing you again for the program. So thank you. That's it.